open. So depend on always questions and answers with our team of teachers. Some of our teachers from yoga for the special child. It's not everyone, but some of them are going to be here. And you can direct your question to one of our teachers, or you can just ask the questions and one of us is going to respond. So it's going to be Shiva Kami, it's going to be Sherry, did you say yes? Yes, Sherry LeBlanc. Kathy, Randolph, and Sri Devi. So and myself. So whoever is helping here, can we just spotlight those people for me? And it's open for questions. And Kathy, spotlight Kathy. There we go. All right. Yes. And here we are. I saw Roshini here raising her hand. Right? Did I? She disappeared. That's not maybe? Okay. I think she left by something happened. So if you guys have a question, we have like 2 minutes that you can to go somewhere and come back really fast. You can do that. And we're going to be here waiting for you for questions and answers. Okay.
Renata, let me see if you understood. So we have a panel now, and I will be part of it, is it?
Yes, you, Cher LeBlanc, Kathy Randall, Denisa, Sri Devi, and myself.
Got it.
That's why you have all the people on the spotlight.
I got it. That is the one that you asked me to to be a coordinator,
moderator.
And then I said, no, you cannot.
That's the one for tomorrow, that I'm going to be the moderator. Right now it's just questions and answers.
Cannot moderate and ask.
There is no moderators. We're just here waiting for people to ask questions. That's all.
Okay.
But of course, if there is no questions, you can start talking and then inspire them to ask questions. You guys have heard all of us talking so far, so maybe there was a question you didn't have before, maybe you have one now, and you're welcome to ask any questions related to what you have seen us talking about, or any other questions you have about yoga for the special child or a specific child you're working with. I don't know, anything. If you don't say anything, I'm just going to be thinking. I was going to say, I'm going to look at Remy if you guys don't say anything. I'm asking you to unmute. I don't have that power. You can unmute yourself.
So I am dealing with seizures with Remy. How can I better use yoga to help her with her seizures?
Kathy?
Yes, I have epilepsy, and the first thing I would start with is the breathing, and I can hear her, but I don't see her. What age are we talking about?
She is 4.
Oh, fine. So, beginning with the full diaphragmatic breath, and this is teaching exhale, and then the inhale will take care of itself. And in the part 1, we all learned from Shiva Kami how to very gently assist that exhale, watching very carefully, and then just taking them ever so slightly past where they are to very slowly, very patiently improve that natural exhalation. And being able to fully oxygenate really reduces brain cell death during seizures, because you're really trying to oxygenate And what was her name?
Remy.
Rennie, do you know in advance when you're going to have a seizure?
She indicates it, but she's nonverbal.
Oh, but she's communicative if she indicates
Yes.
it. So the answer is yes. So she has an aura. An aura is the knowledge ahead of time. And for everybody, it's different. But when people ask me, it's like, well, it's like having bees live in your head. But for everyone, what it feels like is different. But what we recognize is this is what comes before. This is how I feel before. So when you get that feeling, you're going to begin the full diaphragmatic breath consciously, but always exhale completely, then relax. You will automatically inhale and completely fill your lungs and oxygenate if you exhale completely. The more oxygen you have in your body during the seizure, less brain cell death. Also, oxygen in the muscles. When you tense those muscles, you're squeezing, just like in a yoga pose. The lactic acid, the adrenaline, and the carbon dioxide are being released out of the muscles. And so you need oxygen because it can only be released out of the muscles in the presence of oxygen. So you want to be as oxygenated as possible. You will reduce muscle tearing and muscle strain, reduce brain cell death, and you'll just generally feel better. Also, you won't feel nearly as nauseous afterwards if you have a lot of oxygen. You know how when you have a fight or flight response, like you're out driving and suddenly you save your own life, and a few minutes after, you suddenly get that real nausea. That's all the adrenaline being released out of your muscles, and it gives you that feeling. Now, all of that adrenaline is being stored in the muscles during a seizure. And so being able to have that release instead of just constantly being stored. So you just get tighter and tighter and tighter, like a weightlifter who never stretches. So being able to do that full diaphragmatic breath. Then the Ujjayi. The Ujjayi breath oxygenates everything. That is why it is the most recommended breath for the practice of asana, is because of the extra movement of oxygen. And in this morning's program about scleroderma, I taught like 7 different ways to teach the Ujjayi, and that will give you a lot of different opportunities to try out different things and see which work. And those 2 are, I think, the key to reducing the impact and helping repair after. And they also just tend to keep us mentally sharper. And then I would be,
Yeah.
And since Hanada has let me know that you have taken both part 1 and part 2, if you would like to contact me, I'd be happy to talk to the 2 of you more about it.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you very much, Kathy.
Yes. Well, I started my yoga practice with the practice of pranayama because the translation I was told at the time was the regulation of energy. And I have way too much energy in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And yoga has been the key. I've been practicing for 50 years and I have been seizure-free for 19.
Wonderful. Good.
Very good. Very good. What she is trying to tell is that she cannot do Jai yet because she can't. She's too young. She cannot do. So what I would suggest to increase the oxygenation is that open chest for her, in her case. Huh? Remember that one?
Yes.
That we have in class?
Um,
So you
normally-
do this one to improve oxygenation. Remember when you were doing this every day, you even told on Facebook that the level of oxygen in her blood was showing. Very,
Yep.
very nice. So that is the one for her at the moment.
Okay.
Okay.
Go
Thank
ahead,
you.
If you guys can just open your microphone.
Very nice, very nice. What is the next question?
Wait. Sudev wants to say something, but I forgot to put her co-host. I apologize. Now you can open your microphone.
No problem. I just wanted to mention that I also work with a young boy, a young man who has seizures daily, several times a day. And very often it happens that he has seizure throughout the class. We take the time that it needs to be taken in order for him to recompose himself. We always continue the practice every time after seizure. What I found that really benefits him is, apart from the practice of the breath, I also do quite a lot of crossing of the middle line of the body, so I can reorganize left and right brain, and that seemed to have been extremely useful to him, especially after seizure. Once he comes back and he takes a bit of time to really kind of resettle back in the body and kind of identify what's what in the body. Just this gentle crossing of the middle line has really helped him to kind of come back faster and to gain a bit more control and understanding and feel more together in himself. And it has reduced the involuntary movements, the tapping on the floor, the turning of the head, all these things that kind of come after seizure, which are just involuntary. So I believe that would also be helpful for your child.
Okay, very nice, very nice. But Heather, you have to do this every day with her. Okay? Because you're not doing every day, right? But she needs it every day.
Does she need to continue with the 30 minutes every day, even when she's sick? Should I increase it? Should I decrease it?
I think that at the moment, you have to focus more like Kathy was saying on pranayama. And let's see how much she can do. She perhaps can do 1-2 minutes of this one. Huh? And if she's not very tired because she has been so sick lately, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she will have the energy for some movements. You can try, but I believe that the better for her at the moment is doing pranayama and relaxing her brain through deep relaxation.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Which is the next question? Come on, take advantage and do lots of questions. You could not do questions. Take advantage and ask Shri Devi question about her talk. Ask Kath about her talk. Ask Sherry LeBlanc about her talk. Take advantage. It's question and answers. Just specify the teacher. I want to ask a question to Shri Devi, or I want to ask a question to Sherry, or to Cheryl, or to Kathy. No, only for these 4 people that are in the, yeah. Okay, Sherry LeBlanc and Cheryl Albright are not in the panel. Sorry. So take advantage and ask questions.
Okay, Shivakam, I'm sorry. Sherry LeBlanc, it is on the panel. It's the panel with yoga for the special child teachers. So yes, she is in the panel.
Oh, thank you. So take advantage. Go, go.
Come on, guys. You always have a lot of questions. Now it's time to ask.
Okay, Shanti, go ahead.
I have a question specifically for Sridevi, but if anyone has answers, I'm interested in them. I know, Sridevi, that you set up a very successful charity in London, and I wonder if you could explain a little bit about how you went around, how you went about organizing that, and any tips you have for people who might want to do the same thing where they are.
Thank you, Shanti. What really made it possible to happen was actually the great effort of two mothers who are already part of quite a large network of community of special needs. And because those moms were dealing with the government in UK and the council and the health services, they knew exactly what language to use and which organizations to approach or to which departments to go to exactly. I personally really had no idea how to set up a charity, but I really like lean, the past of lean. I know it in Sanskrit, but I forgot in English. But when you lean on someone's support and effort, so I really allowed those two mothers to guide me in it because they knew the internal structure. So I guess the best advice would be to use the resources that you have in the community already and to reach out to parents that are already familiar with the bureaucracy of the country that you live in, because they would know whom to email to, what kind of form to fill in, what kind of words also to use, because there's a particular, like a jargon, there's a particular language that I need to use in order to get a successful application. And in different countries is different. In English, in England, it's quite a bizarre sound, you know, it's not, there's a terminology that it needs using. And sometimes the interesting thing is that different organization wants to hear particular things. So it's almost like sometimes in the forms you have to write what they want to hear in the words that they want to hear in order to tick the boxes. So those mothers had the knowledge, and that's how we were able to set up the charity.
That's right. Sridevi is right. Each country is different, and because each country is different, I would suggest you to ask this question to an expert with the Cheryl Albright. Ask it to Cheryl Albright because she is gonna give you the right way here in this country.
Well, I'm unmuted. Hi.
Well, you are the teacher of yoga for the special child.
So I was just about to type in the chat that even within the United States, every state is different. So
Even the state is different.
Every state is completely different. So I owned a business in New York. I owned them in Florida. They're two very separate, how you go about it, whether it was for profit or nonprofit, it completely different set of laws. So I couldn't even suggest what to do in Illinois, really.
Oh, I see. So you know what, Shant? Put Steve to work. He's good for that.
But I will tell you, I have sibling friends that do work for the ARC that I would be happy to like connect. And so I do have some connections, and that way I just personally would have no clue what to do in Chicago.
Okay, next question, please. Nadia Alvarez.
Hi, I have a question for Sherry, but also kind of just for everyone. I know kids with autism don't have the same kind of visual tracking that we do. It's kind of chaotic. They've actually done studies on it, and their eyes do not track the same way a typical child or persons would. And while we were doing the exercise with Sherry and we were in prone, I noticed differences about my visual field. So I wasn't sure if when we're working with a kid on the spectrum, if we should focus on some of those prone movements more, or even on our laying down on our back to address the vision initially, if that would be a better position for them, I suppose.
Well, I don't know if I have an answer about that specifically. I do notice that a lot of children that I work with, that they have a lot of difficulty, not just with the eye exercises, but when I ask them, say, okay, now you're going to take your knees to the right. Can you turn your head to the right so your eyes are going to the right? Can you turn your head, your eyes are tracking the same? For instance, when they do chanting and I demonstrate and I'm following my hands with my eyes, and then I'll say, yeah, but you're not doing what I'm doing. I'm following my hands with my eyes. So even simple things like that, hand-eye coordination, it's like they're not connecting. Or where's your middle? Because they turn their head in a different, okay, now where's your middle? Now, and then moving in the opposite direction to where their body is going. And so all those things I include. I agree that lying on the back is easier than sitting up, but I just include, I'm just very aware of the eyes and what children are doing. And I agree that children who are on the autistic spectrum, sometimes it's more difficult for them, but I think it's worth talking about the eyes and bringing that into their awareness. For me, I do this all the time now. It's not just in Netravyayama, it's everything.
So Netravyayama is good for everybody. You just have to give the child the tools that the child needs, because each case, is a different case. So like Cher is saying, they have to find a way that works for that specific child we're talking about. But definitely each is going to help. But instead of moving the body with the movements of the eyes, you can begin just with moving eyes. You can break it down, the orientation she was given, and go step by step until you are able to combine the eyes and the movements.
I think, because we begin with chanting and we begin with the following our movements, a call and response, I just think that's amazing, because right away the children have to follow you, they have to look at you, they have to look at what you're doing, they have to try to copy what you're doing. I always love that because it gives me so much information about the child. And yeah, I love that part of the class.
And I believe this is going to be very good for her, Heather. That perhaps she can follow. Yeah. Is your question answered, Nadia Alvarez? Good.
Steve, you have a question, right? Your microphone is open. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. Well, it's not working. We can't hear you.
They said that is not working.
Yeah, I know that, but I was gonna let him talk. Okay. The question
You can
is
write
about,
the question if
yeah, they did.
She can
The
hear.
question is about teaching online. If we have any tips about teaching online. Are you talking about teaching any person or teaching someone who has been practicing with you already? Okay, so let me find your audio connection. Where is it? I know what you're trying to do. 1 second. All right, let's see.
Okay, is that okay? All right.
It's echoing a little bit.
Bring it closer.
You have to unmute it, or you have to take the audio out of the other one. The one that you're looking at, you have to disconnect from audio.
Disconnect the audio on that one. Can you hear me now?
Echoing.
Oh, exactly.
Disconnect the audio.
No, on the one that you're looking at.
That screen.
This one. No talk.
Okay.
No. You have to wait a second.
I'm gonna leave.
All right, now talk to me.
Hello?
There you go. I'll put you back in a second.
Okay.
Go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, you disconnected Rita on the big computer.
I know. I'll get her back in a second. Just ask
She's
the
back.
question.
But it's still echoing.
It's still echoing?
Yeah. Don't.
Okay, just keep me out. So my question is, how about teaching kids at a school? You know what, I'm gonna leave. Okay, there. So teaching kids at a school online, it's ay caramba.
That's what I was going to say. Ay caramba.
Yeah. When
You have more than one microphone there.
I know she does. She's trying to figure it out. Someone let her in again, and then that's what is going on.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Now it's good.
Okay.
Okay.
All
So
right. And
yes, it's being at a school. They're all little kids. They don't know yoga. Their teachers aren't aware, and they're doing the best they can, but I'm trying to connect. So I just wanted to see if anyone is having any experience working with young children online right now, and if you can give me any insight.
okay.
And sorry about the microphone, guys. Thank
Renata
you.
is teaching several classes online. I taught one class online, and if the child has never done yoga before, I don't think that it is going to work with the teachers around that
Can't hear anybody.
are not prepared either.
Yeah, she took you off.
On yours.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I think she heard you.
Hold on. Hold on just 1 second. Okay. If you could repeat that again, Sivakami, she'll be able to hear you.
What I said is, if the child has never done yoga before, I don't think it is gonna happen. Perhaps with some parts of the class to imitate a pranayama, an eye exercise, perhaps that works for deep relaxation. even for mantra perhaps, but when it comes to asanas, if the child has never done yoga before, I really don't think it is safe, because for that is necessary the physical presence of the teacher. Yoga is something, it's kind of tricky. That's why when I said when reading a book, one cannot learn the position well just by reading the book. You need the physical presence of a teacher. And speaking about the children with special needs, it complicates even more. So Renata has been doing online programs, I think Cheryl Albright too, right? But Renata had done yoga with the child before, so they are very connected. And this boy, John, he does very well, right, Renata? But there was another one with the autism, for instance, that she should not be able to teach him online. So anyone has experience about working with a child that has never done yoga before online? Begin their work with it online? I don't think so.
I think Sherry said that she does. Sherry LeBlanc?
Yes, at the beginning of the pandemic, I was asked to teach some children for an organization. It's a respite program. And normally I would say, no way, not a chance. But, you know, these are different times. So I said I would give it a chance. I would give it a try. And it's a wonderful organization because they're very accommodating. So they made the classes very small. I started off with one class. Now I have 6 classes, and none of these kids had taken yoga before. I don't think so. And well, first of all, I love seeing them every week. I mean, we're not in lockdown, but you know, and I'm thrilled at the progress that they've made.
So they are high function, right?
Yes. A couple of them need a little support from their mothers, and they all have different issues, but yes, they're high functioning. They can stand. I have one girl who she has cerebral palsy. I don't do anything with her standing, but you know, I'm very surprised. They've all made progress. We have a great time. We enjoy each other, and they continue coming back. So.
Okay. So you have the 2 versions
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I think that it depends. That was my last question to Steve and Rita, if the kids have special needs or not, and what is the level of special needs? Because in the beginning of the pandemic, Kathy said, I'm not teaching anyone, I'm staying home, and said. But at the same time, we need to think a little bit that one thing those people most need is yoga right now. Everyone needs it. And we have been talking, I don't know how many times you heard the words central nervous system, regulation, self-regulation, learning to handle whatever's going on with you during this conference. And somehow we need to be able to reach out for those people. I guess that even the yoga for the special child in the beginning never thought about the idea about going online. We said, there's no way we're doing this. This is not happening. No, we need to be in touch. We need to touch. We need to touch. But we actually found out that even being online, I can touch people. Angela is here. I have never seen her in person. I feel like I know her for my whole life. I love looking at her. I love seeing her. Oh, Angela, you're here again. And she has been in this journey with us online for 2 years almost. And I think we just like yoga for the special child can be creative. We need to try to be creative. The only thing that I always make a big deal of it is that you're not teaching the parent to work with the child, because then you're making to a three legs, and the connection and everything that you need to have with the child, it may be broken. So, and the work may not have the same quality. But if you can reach and then do what Shivakam was saying, trying pranayama, like I fell asleep today during the deep relaxation. And those things help. That means like, oh, I feel so much more energy now. I feel like my body is so much stronger now. And I took what I maybe I slept for 2 minutes, but my body totally relaxed. That's why I fell asleep. And that's the thing that the kids need to learn to let go, and it activates that parasympathetic nervous system. And so simple breath working, just paying attention on the 3 part breath, lying down on the floor, trying things that they can do, chanting, as you heard Shideli saying yesterday, all the things about the mouth, you heard other people talking about. Chanting is very powerful. So you can just make the yoga class simple. The class that I taught yesterday, the 30 minutes, was on purpose. You guys did not move from your mat. You didn't stand up. You did really simple, silly movement, like twist, side bending, forward bending, back bending, seated. Your legs crossed, doing simple movement. Feel. And so those things may be possible, and depending on the case, but if the child has a lot of challenges, that might be harder for us to achieve. And if it's a group class, then it gets a little bit trickier. I think that Cher LeBlanc has the ideal setup, because she was able to break down the classes into smaller groups. Maybe that will be a choice. But we have to just be very attentive with how we are guiding, because once you are the teacher, then it's your responsibility, being 6,000 miles away or 50 centimeters away from the person. But you are the teacher, so you just have to keep that in mind, that the person who is helping you, you are guiding that person. So do you really want to do that? And that's my thought about that.
So let me clarify one thing. Rita, are you asking about typical children or children with special needs? Okay, so I understood correctly, because Angela, she's not a child with special needs, and she's an adult. She can follow, she can grow. It's different. So
Shivakami, when I was talking about Angela, I was talking about connection, that we can try to connect. And like Kathy was talking to Remy, and Remy was responding, and she was talking back to her. And that is the connection that I was talking about. I was not talking about being able to do YSZ.
I understand that. And I understand that there are different ways to touch a child. I already have talked about this. It's different ways to, talk a person, even online. But I still think that when the child is not high function, it's kind of be not safe. And I, like you said, I would not allow someone or guide someone online if that person doesn't have the knowledge. However, you guys feel free to do whatever you would like to do. But, and though not afraid, but be careful. That's what I would say.
Any other questions? You guys have about 20 more minutes. Jennifer.
Thank you. I'd like to ask all the teachers, when they first started reaching out into the community, volunteering, do you as a teacher need to carry a certain insurance to get out and start volunteering in the schools? And I currently work for a day program, but if I'd like to go out to other day programs in the area, so therefore I'm assuming I need to carry some kind of insurance.
I understand nothing about this, so somebody else, I have no clue.
In England, you are obliged to cover insurance as a teacher, even if you're volunteering. And if you're working with children with additional needs, you also have to carry out a child protection certificate. You have to carry out the course in which you learn how to, about child protection and first aid. And that is the bottom line. It's like without those, you cannot do anything. Because they're very strict on child protection, child safety, because of far too much abuse taking place. So the rules have really tightened up in here. And part of me is very grateful because if anything happens, even if you're volunteering, having a first aid course underneath your belt, it's really useful. It's a good skill to have.
Kathy Randolph, is it the same here in the United States of America?
No.
So
you should definitely have insurance. Or if you're not a 200-hour teacher, but you do have your Part 1, you can get your insurance from the Fitness and Wellness Insurance Agency. I will, we were in a course together. I have your email.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link.
Yes.
And if you're teaching part-time, it is quite reasonable. It's reasonable even if you're teaching full-time. And then my advice about volunteering is pick one place to volunteer and volunteer there, because otherwise your entire schedule will be filled with volunteer yoga. And believe me, once you start volunteering somewhere, you will teach there for the rest of your life, because nobody ever lets a free yoga teacher get away. And then when people ask you where you teach, you say, like me, I teach at Washoe Art. I didn't say for free. And then you go from there. I will send you the link for the insurance. With your certification from Yoga for the Special Child, you qualify for it.
Thank you.
there we go. Any more clues about, let's say, Canada? Because Sridevi said about England, which is be completely different. No, England, the way I know, it might be different of the other Europe, countries in Europe. So anyway, but is there anyone in Canada teaching?
Let's see.
Oh, no, Sherry LeBlanc, I thought you did understand about insurance as well.
Why?
I don't know, for some reason. Because I was so quiet there.
Yes, we all have to have insurance. Yeah, we all have to have insurance.
Oh, you don't?
We do.
You do. But what's like here in the US?
I don't know what it's like in the US. And I can't even speak
Canada
for all.
is US, right? She hates it.
I can only speak for Ontario, the province I live in. I don't know what happens everywhere else, but we all need to have insurance to teach yoga.
Okay, okay.
And
all right.
Although it's not required here, I think having CPR is a real good idea. Just, yeah.
Makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, all right. So another question, please. I'm very impressed because usually there are so many questions that we cannot answer all, but this group, well, I agree. We have a very good group of teachers that are so clear in what they explain that you don't even need a question.
I think Heather had another comment in the chat. Did you?
Okay, go ahead.
You said about a comment, right, Shakti? Yes, she's saying that Heather had a comment about Heather, and she said that Remy communicates so much with her eyes.
Yes, I saw that.
Anyone else has a question? Darshini, you were the person full of questions. What happened to you?
Who you said that you wanted to ask a question, Renata?
Okay, so Dana, who is in our office, she's asking, how, and that's a very good question. We have been questioning this a little bit. How many of you feel that Yoga Life is useful to you?
That is a great question. I want to hear that. I want to hear that. Come on. Look, Kathy, which is a person that I totally believe about this. She's the one that deals with the Yoga Alliance all the time. She's doing this. Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.
So,
I know that there are in some of the big cities on the East Coast, yoga centers won't hire someone who does not have the Yoga Alliance certification. And the reason for this, how technical do you guys want this? Okay, the reason for this is when Yoga Alliance formed itself, it was pretty much, I mean, Shiva Kami was part of it. It was because they didn't want insurance companies deciding who a yoga teacher was. So,
well, because in the beginning, this Yoga Alliance stuff was Guru Dev's idea. I don't know if you know. And then the ashram that found Yoga Alliance. I still live in the ashram when it happened. And the Swami Ramananda, I think he was the president, if I'm not mistaken. And there was, because Guru Dev gave this idea to found the Yoga Alliance. So the ashram immediately followed what he asked and did. And I remember that for me to go into, they were asking also, of course, lots of papers, and this is good because this is safe, right? So, but after the ashram took off, left, we were still members, but we were not just directly united there. I don't know. Yoga Alliance is getting back. I don't know.
Actually, Yoga Alliance is getting much
Kathy,
more.
Sorry to interrupt, Kathy. I interrupted Kathy now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, so it depends on where you live. If you're looking at it from a yoga teacher point of view. Okay, so as a yoga teacher, it depends on where you live. Where I live, nobody knows what Yoga Alliance is, nor do they care. They want to know who your teacher is. Who's your teacher? Okay. And you can put your Yoga Alliance stuff all over. Oh, I'm Yoga Alliance. And I'll go, huh? So where I live, it's meaningless. There are places I know where they cannot teach in a yoga center if they do not have the Yoga Alliance certification. The reason for that from insurance purposes is like somebody who runs a gym has to prudently select people who are going to work for them in order to not be liable. So if they don't know how to judge the quality of a yoga teacher, the easiest way for them to demonstrate their prudence is to say, there is a national standard, this person meets it. So from that point of view, it has value if you live somewhere where people care.
Yeah,
where I live, nobody even knows what it is, so who cares?
Yeah, so there's a big conversation because there's also all the standards that Yoga Alliance are changing. and asking people to follow that or get guidelines. So yoga centers on itself, they are questioning the value of yoga life in a sense of telling you what to do instead of accepting for who you are. Because I understand that they need the standards in order to even protect us from a lot of people who are, I don't know if you have seen, but I have 200 hours yoga training for $99. Come do it. And I don't know how you survive on $99 to train up 200 hours, but that's another question. So how many students you're going to have in order to have a $99 teacher's training? So I understand they're trying to put up standards for those, but the old yoga centers, the ones that have tradition, like the Sonia Sumar method, the Integral Yoga, and many others, the Iyengar and other centers, they're questioning, why are you telling me how many hours I have to have on this or how many hours I have to have on that? I know how my method works, and I want to teach people what I value. And so that has been a big a fight about what is going on. So there's a background discussion, and that give us, of course, more paperwork, and that's why Dana is asking the question. So it's important for us as an institution to know, do I do all this paperwork so you guys can have the 200 hours certification? You can register with Yoga Alliance for 200, for 500 hours, or whatever. You know, that is what that's what we need to know as a school.
That is new for me. I didn't know that they were offering 200 hours for $99. And the Cheryl is asking, can you get 200 hours in one weekend?
No. She's saying that you can. It's not that she's asking a question. She's saying that there are people who offer those things, and that's like the people trying to make money, and it's that denies with equality. So that's why Yoga Alliance is there, to try to protect us as like centers that are taking yoga seriously. So there's those two things to balance. And then there are the students, which are you guys who get your license and want to get the certified with Yoga Alliance. And that's what we're trying to understand. If you have that interest, if that is something that, oh no, I think is important to me in my state. So it may be something for us to learn from you.
Amazing. It happens also in Europe many times when I am talking about Yoga Alliance, because some people there are affiliated here in this country, even in Brazil, because they think it's status. But most of Europeans, they say, I am not interested in Yoga Alliance or becoming, affiliated to the Yoga Alliance. Most of them that are not interested in status. But
yeah, that's not it. Yeah, but they have their own places. Like in London, they have the Yoga Alliance UK.
Oh, I know that.
In Holland, they have their own. So we as a global institution, we kind of have to adapt to different things, but we can't go everywhere. It's really hard. So that is a limit that we can reach.
Renata, I know that, but I'm saying that there are some people, they wanted to be affiliated to the United States because of status. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, some people in Taiwan would like that, and depending on the country, they really value it, and they value that, and then that's why we keep asking if we need or not.
Okay. Jennifer Rose, it is all over Facebook. What is over Facebook?
The $99 training.
Really? Oh my God. This is depreciating all the other yoga schools.
Yeah. And Emily is saying that with so many different trainings around, it is helpful when we have volunteers at the hospital to know that our volunteers have at least 200 hours registered yoga teachers training through Yoga Alliance. So yeah, so that's one of the reasons why we keep Yoga Alliance, because like people understand that there is a reputation behind.
Oh, I have never heard about this. Oh gosh.
Oh, you're not, you may not be looking too close to Facebook, because for me, because I do all the yoga pages, it pops up for me all the time.
Come on, I am there on Facebook all the time, answering my students.
Maybe they didn't got your, what is that called? The little thing that they follow. I forget. What is the name? There's a name for the logarithm, logarithm. How do you say that? Something like that.
Algorithm.
Algorithm, thank you. In Portuguese, is different. So the algorithms of it doesn't go through to the yoga section.
Renata, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you put yourself together with Christine? A photo of each one of you. You and Christine. Put there, please.
Then I have to unspotlight everyone. I know what you're trying to do.
I think I have another daughter, twin with Renata, and didn't know. Look at this. Tell me if they don't look like. Sometimes when I'm a teacher, both of them are present. I go to Christine, think that is Renata, and I am her mother.